Happy to be back. Happy to be back in Northern at the old school.
Yeah, super happy. So, my old man still lives here. I came up and stayed with him last night, and not much changes in a small country town like this. Everything's a bit smaller than I remember, but yeah, super fond memories of this place, and it's great to be back.
Football-wise, been back in WA for a few months now. Been at the Eagles. We spoke after a few weeks of you being there. How's it been training-wise? How you've settled in, and how are you finding the Eagles?
Yeah, training's been great. It's been super competitive and super hot this time of year with moving into more match simulation type training sessions, and the competition for spots is super hot, and the boys are going really well. So it's an exciting year coming up for the club, and it's great to be back home and a part of it.
You obviously come from one club that was top of the ladder to a club that's not so up there. How are the training standards or the way it's trained compared to the way it was at Brisbane?
It's pretty similar in a lot of aspects. One thing you can never take away from the guys here is their attitude and their willingness to learn and get better, and they're all attributes I've seen at the best club in Australia. So great positive signs, and I think we're tracking in a really good direction.
What about for yourself? How do you feel heading into round one or the pre-season games, even against Freo? Do you feel like you're ready for a role in that starting midfield?
Potentially, yeah. And I'm certainly doing everything I can with my training, and like I said before, spots for competition for spots is still quite hot, and certainly under no illusion to be walking into the midfield. I'll be doing everything I can to work my way up, and hopefully there round one, but it'll be tough.
Talk to us about your build into the pre-season. Obviously you took it a little bit easier on that shoulder pre-Christmas, but what's that been like building up into full fitness?
Yeah, so pretty conservative with my shoulder. I had an operation after the season finished, but that's giving me no dramas at the moment, just full noise, no hindrances at the moment. So yeah, all good.
How's it been having stars at the club? Familiar face coming over. Has it kind of made that transition a little bit easier?
It did, yeah. So I lived with Stars for a little bit while I was in Brisbane, and to have him come over, not only the special player that he is, but he's a good friend, and he's a great person, and he's the exact type of person that the club was looking for and got. And I think it's been announced, but he's in the leadership group, so he's going to be great for the club.
When you were kind of making the decision to come back, did you guys speak at all about that it was maybe going to happen?
Didn't speak too much. No, didn't pry. I sort of maybe looked at him in the corridor a little bit funny at some stages, and we sort of kind of both acknowledged the fact that it may happen. But it's exciting to be here with him now.
Dev, what have you learned from a guy like Luke Shuey this off-season?
Yes, Shuey's been great so far. Obviously the stoppage coach, and I've really loved bouncing things off him, hearing the way he talks about it. It's kind of surreal in a lot of ways. Growing up as a big West Coast fan, watched him for so many years and admired the way he plays, and now to be able to sort of work underneath of him is great.
Who's impressed you this pre-season? You've seen a lot of these guys from the outside for years, but now you get to work with them, the gym, training and all that.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Graham, the way he goes about his footy, is really admirable. Like, he's a sort of no-fuss player, and it's actually a skill, but he somewhat just tries harder than everyone else, and he's great for the group, great for the young guys, and I like to think I somewhat go about my business in a similar fashion. So, but he's sort of the pinnacle of that. So I've been loving training with him at the moment.
What's been the feedback from the kids? I mean, it's a bit of a hotbed of talent here. Yourself, Bobby Hill, the O'Driscolls. I mean, whose territory is it?
Yes, there's some great players come out of Northam. It was funny back in the juniors. It was me and Nathan would play together against Bobby and Sydney. So there was some great competition going up there.
Were they giving you some of the Dockers fans in there, maybe giving you a little bit of hassle defending the O'Driscolls' honour?
I think so. I ran into Nathan's mum this morning, and it was good to see, but there's a little bit of competitiveness there.
What is it about Northam, I guess, in terms of producing good players?
I'm not sure. It probably nods the cap to these types of things that the Eagles have done today, getting out into the community. I distinctly remember being at school and Eagles coming out and visiting, and it's really inspiring as a child, seeing, you know, people that you look up to come out and you see them in the flesh, and that drives you to be, you know, it makes it seem possible that it's a realistic outcome for your career. So, you know, things like that, I think the Eagles do a great job getting back out into the community, and it's probably one of the reasons.
What does it mean to you to kind of be that inspiration for these kids now? Is it something you look back and reflect on?
Yes, no, it is special. It's sort of, have been reminiscing on those times back when I was sitting out there and the Eagles come out, and now to be standing up, you know, on the other side of it. Hopefully, you know, even if it's just one or two kids that inspire to play at AFL level, I would be happy with that.
Dev, obviously a couple of years ago there was talk that you might have the potential to come back to West Coast. How do you sort of reflect on the timing of it all now, and now that you're here, are you sort of thinking you could have jumped 2 years ago, or are you happy with how it's all panned out?
No, I'd say I was happy with how it all panned out. You know, at that time in my career, I felt like I had some unfinished business at Brisbane, and I wanted to stay and try and win a grand final. I'm super happy that the guys got there in the end and won, you know, a couple now. But fortunately, I wasn't a part of that. But I learnt a lot about myself, a lot about my footy over the last 2 years, and I think it's only going to hold me in better stead now. Finally, now that I'm here. So. Yeah.
And you've joined the club sort of in a similar frame to Finn McRae and Harry Schellenberg, sort of all in that position, being those experienced mids coming in. How have you sort of found yourselves all tracking in those two guys as well? Yeah, no,
they're going really well at the moment as well. It's the sort of injection of a little bit more of experience. I feel funny calling myself an experienced player. I certainly don't feel like that sometimes, but yeah, I think, you know, the group here at West Coast is so young, and it's good to sort of have a bit of a bridge between those older guys that, you know, have won that premiership in 2018 and now sort of really youthful group, and bridging that gap is somewhat important, and I think, like you said, what those guys are trying to do. Do
you have a goal for this year in mind? How many games you want to play starting round one?
No, nothing specific. I'm just, you know, again, it's a bit cliche, but whatever sort of Mini wants, and if I can contribute at all this season, I'd be pretty happy.
What's the difference between, just on the midfield as well? Obviously, coming from a very experienced midfield, and you're coming into a midfield, should Joe be playing, you've got that experience, but you know, you've got the likes of Harley Reid, and then maybe out on the wing as well, Willem Dersma. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, working with those younger guys and what you're enjoying with it and what they bring to the midfield that might be a bit different to Brisbane. Yeah,
I mean, you're spot on there. They're great players. They're super youthful, and I mean, the main difference is just purely the experience. Like, there's a lot of lessons from AFL that you can't learn without actually going through, you know, 50 to 100 games. So there's a lot of similarities between the Brisbane Lions midfield especially, and the whole team really 6 to 8 years ago. But I think with those guys, and they're hungry to learn, and they're all going to be tracking in a good direction.
Are you surprised at Willem Dersma's ability to get in and out of traffic? I was watching him the other day in that drill yesterday.
He was.
Sidestepped a few blokes.
Yeah, it's very special. He seems to have a bit more time than everyone else, which would be nice, but he's certainly a very smooth player.
And how are you gelling with those guys like Harley, Jack Graham in that midfield area?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gelling somewhat nicely, trying to complement them guys. You know, Harley is a super talent, and he's going to be an absolute star for the club. So yeah, any way I can sort of help him out and those other guys, I'm happy to do so.
Is that what you see your role as? Is that kind of guy who supports some of those guys around the stoppages, helps them out blocking, whether that's kind of thing, or making sure they don't get too much attention? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it's again pretty early in the piece of pre-season and what the year ahead holds. So yeah, could be or could be something else. We'll sort of wait and see how it all unfolds.
Nice opportunity to bond with a few of the guys. Did you carpool with
any of the guys today?
The boys did carpool up, but I took the chance to come up a bit early, so I came up last night and stayed with Dad. So I think I might take the boys out for lunch now.